All right. How's everybody doing out there? If you're new to this channel, hit the like, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment. Love to interact and see different perspectives, especially when it comes to the sports world. Now, the NBA All-Star game is finally behind us, so you know what that means. Second half of the NBA, this is where things get real serious as if it wasn't before. So to all my bettors out there, hold your horses. We still got a few days until the tip-offs for the second half. But let's take a look to the future and the games that's coming on Thursday. Now, these three games in particular, these are the matchups that I like. They're going to be real action-packed, and possibly between some of these matches, we'll be seeing the same matches in the playoffs for sure. So let's start with the Suns versus the Spurs. Now, the Suns got an overall record of 32-23, while the San Antonio Spurs, they're sitting at 38-16. Now, the Spurs, they're definitely looking like a real playoff team in the West. Their last 5 games leading up to the All-Star break, they finished up perfect with 5-0. Wemby versus Devin Booker is going to be a great matchup. With no Dylan Brooks, it's going to be left to Booker to go ahead and take the team on his shoulders, which he's done before. While Wemby and the Spurs, they have a full team over there. They got a full bench. I honestly think the Spurs are going to go ahead and take this game. I think it's going to be a little closer than what we expect, but I do expect for it to go over. Looking at the Spurs covering this, at least by 3.5. I'll give them 4 points on this one. Bones, what you think is going to happen with this game?
I feel like the Suns are overmatched in this game. The Suns got a good starting five, but after that, they don't really have the depth to compete with the Spurs. And like you said, I really think the Spurs are going to cover the spread, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't know. Did you say Dylan Brooks is not playing?
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is out. He's
Okay.
He's suspended.
So I'll be weary on that over on that game without the scoring power of Brooks, but definitely the cover for the Spurs.
All right, so we both like the Spurs to cover that one. Me personally, I like the over. I think I'm going to deal with the over. If it's anything around 224.5, I'm going to take it over. I see that game being 228, maybe 229.
It would make sense if Brooks was playing, but their bench isn't. I don't think their bench is strong enough to hang with the Spurs as far as the Spurs scoring. And then the Spurs also got that D because Wemby in the middle, all they're gonna do have is the outside opportunities. The inside's gonna be locked down.
Yeah, but this can be one of those games where you have one of those bench players step up from nowhere. You know, those are the worst games. Somebody you never heard of hit 25 points. I just feel like this is probably going to happen in this game right here.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. We got some more matches, too. I do like that New York versus Pistons. It's a playoff matchup from last year, and we do know last year Isaiah Stewart was out, and I think Detroit felt like if he was in the game, they probably would have won that series.
He's gonna be out again. He got suspended. He's still serving that 4-game suspension for that fight.
Oh, yeah, with the Hornets.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like this is a preview to the Eastern Conference Championship right here. I really do. I feel like it's gonna go. The Eastern Conference is gonna go through the Pistons, and the Knicks gonna have a lot to say about that. But I really feel like the Pistons are the team to beat in the East.
Yeah, the Pistons definitely got the better record. They're 40-13 right now, while the Knicks is 35-12. Think they got one of the coaches of the year candidates for sure, if not the coach of the year over there in Detroit. And getting
on an MVP candidate, Cade Cunningham. I really think he's one of the, as far as the East goes, he's one of the top candidates for MVP on the East.
Yeah, I like him too.
Best record on the East. So look if you're looking for futures to bet, that's a good future you might want to jump on.
Yeah, I definitely like him too. So with that game though, I don't know. I think if the spread is 3.5, I'm thinking about going with New York to cover that spread. I don't see Detroit winning by more than 3. This is normally a close game. The over and under, I do believe is going to go under. I think the defense is going to play a big part in the last 2 to 3 minutes of the game. So
yeah,
that's where I'm leaning towards right now.
I would agree with you on that under, but I don't agree with you with the Knicks covering. The Knicks they have problems with the better teams. They take care of business against the sorry teams, but when it comes to those better teams, they always struggle. And then you can never really count on Cat. Cat is he's always missing in a lot of these big games. So I don't know if I can agree with you on that one. I would take the Pistons definitely. The Pistons show up for these big games, they're kind of like the opposite of what I said with the Knicks. They show up for the big games, and a lot of times they don't show up for those games against those sorry teams. But I believe they're going to show up this time.
Well, if we have a sight of Cat, I think this game can go. Like I say, I think the Knicks will definitely be in it. And I don't know. Cat just got to show itself. It is the second half of the NBA. He need to show why the Knicks got him over there, why he wasn't traded, and just get them over the hump because they're in desperate need. If not winning the championship, at least making it to the finals.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Cat is the key. I think Cat's been getting outplayed by Robinson. Robinson's been showing up there. I mean, Robinson isn't a big scorer, but he shows up and does what he's supposed to do every game. He gets those rebounds and he gets those big defensive minutes.
Yeah, I like Robinson. He's a good rebounder. He's definitely a good rebounder. I don't trust him at the free throw at all. He can't hit a free throw to save his life. But
Nah, that's the problem. You can't keep him in the game at the end of the game because they're going to do a hack of Robinson, and that takes away a lot from the Knicks offense.
yeah, see that's the thing though. You get paid millions and you can't hit a free throw, no matter how tall you are. That should be guaranteed. That need to be a stipulation in the contract. You have to make your free throws.
At least 60%. At least.
Yeah, I just don't see. But he makes it up on his defense and offensive rebounds for sure. He do bring that extra possession when they need.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that one. But I don't know. I don't know what's been going on with Brunson, but I think he's been taking the back seat as far because he used to assert himself with the scoring, but I haven't seen him scoring like he was doing last year. You know if he's injured or anything like that? I don't think he's injured.
Now Bronson's not injured, but what I noticed from him and what it seems like he's a second half player anyways. It seems like his engines start getting a little bit more oiled up towards the second half of the season. So I do expect Bronson to come back and start the second half right. So we got one more game to look at. That's the Nuggets and the Clippers. What you see with this game?
I'm surprised about how well the Clippers have been playing with all those people that left the team without Harden. Kawhi just like took the Bulls by the bull by the horns, and he's playing really well. It's like crazy the way how well they're playing, but I feel like the Nuggets would be the side I would take. I would definitely take the Nuggets to cover. Yeah, the Clippers have been playing some decent competition, but I feel like the Nuggets are a step up. I don't think like they can really compete with the Nuggets. They always have great games, but I think it's a different story now without Harden. So I would definitely be on the Nuggets side.
Yeah,
How about you?
with that one, I'm leaning towards the Clippers, and for one reason, because Kawhi is playing out of his mind right now. The Clippers is 26-28, and the Nuggets is 35-20. But over their last 5 games leading to the All-Star break, the Nuggets went 2-3, and the Clippers went 3-2, and that's strongly a big part for coming from Kawhi Leonard, stepping up and doing what he really needed to do and making plays that he need to make. And then not to mention, the Nuggets gonna be missing Payson Watson that game as well. So I'm gonna give that edge to the Clippers, especially if they're like +5.5, +6. If the Nuggets win, it's gonna be a close win. They're not gonna win by no more than 2 or 3.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. But personally, I will stay away from this game just because the Nuggets and their injury status with a lot of their different players. You can never know who's going to be in or out of the game. I know once Jokic is healthy, he's going to play most of the games. But as far as everybody else, you don't know what you're going to get, who you're going to get in that starting lineup. So it's kind of hard to bet on the Nuggets. And you're right about Kawhi; he's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with the Nuggets, though. They're 35-20, and you got to remember that Jokic, he missed a great portion of this first half of the season to begin with. A lot of their wins came from people that we don't know and just get familiar with. So I think they do have a lot of people that when their name is called, they're ready to come in and take action and make a name for themselves. So Payson Watson, I don't think it's a big hit, but it is something to look out for. And like I said, if the Clippers getting 5.5 to 6 points, definitely I'm rolling with the Clippers on this one. So let's just recap real quick. We got the Suns and the Spurs. Who do you like on that one? Give your final answer.
My final answer is Spurs, and I'm not taking nobody on the over under, but I'm taking the Spurs definitely to cover it.
Okay, I'm with you on that one. I like the Spurs to cover as well. And I like that game to go under. We also have the Knicks versus Pistons. What you like on that?
The Knicks versus Pistons, I'm definitely going to roll with the Pistons. Pistons always show up for those big games, and I'm afraid with the status of Cat, you don't know what you're going to get from Cat. You can't never depend on the Knicks when it comes to that.
You know, I'm kind of on the opposite side of that. I do like the Knicks. Like I said, if they're getting 3.5 to 4 points, I'm taking the Knicks with that. Um, I don't not sure about the over or under. I'm leaning towards the under, definitely, just depending on what it is. I do think it's going to be a defensive game, but I'm pretty concrete with the Knicks for sure, for sure. And then last but not least, we got the Clippers and the Nuggets. What's your final with that one?
I would have to go with the Nuggets. I don't think the Clippers got enough firepower. We did say Kawhi was doing great things, but I think he's going to need a lot more help in order to match up with the Nuggets. And I would definitely think the Nuggets would cover, especially with Jokic and Murray's playing.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm with the Clippers. They're playing at home. Kawhi just showed off at the All-Star game. I think he's just motivated. I think he's motivated to show the league, James Harden, what he's gonna miss out on. I really think they're gonna go to the playoff and go pretty far. So I'm jump on that bandwagon and I'm gonna ride with the Clippers. I'm expecting them to get about uh 3.5 to 4 points on this one. Me, I like a money line and I like them to cover.
Wow, yeah, you're taking a big step on that one.
Yeah, I like them like that. Definitely, definitely. So we're gonna conclude this. Guys, if you guys are new, definitely hit that like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I do give free picks every single day. So you can boost your parlay with one of these free picks. We're 25-3 so far in the last few weeks. So it's free picks every day. All you gotta do is subscribe and bet with me. Let's go.